Hey guys, this is Jake from the NotSoPodcast, and we're now affiliated with Red Panda. So we have 13 episodes. You can find all of them on our SoundCloud and iTunes link. Because it's going to be overwhelming to put all 13 up at once, we're going to start you off with the 13th. So if you like what you hear, rate it on iTunes and enjoy.
You're listening to the NotSoPodcast.
I'm Jake.
I'm Charlie.
And you know what? I still don't know why we fucking say that.
We didn't do it last week because I just came out the gates and said hello.
It's if you're fucking listening to this, you know who we are. Because this is episode 13. So there's a lot of shit going on.
A lot of stuff going down.
It's and I have very strong opinions on shit that's happening.
Do you?
I do. That will lead to, I'm sure, some people being offended.
All right.
So, and I don't want to talk about it the whole podcast, even though I thought about it, but... So, if you're unaware, if you live under a rock and somehow have internet connection, there's been a lot of shootings past week, starting with the Alton Sterling shooting, and I tried to do a lot of my research so I don't come off sounding like a bigot. So the Alton Sterling shooting, which was Monday or Tuesday?
I think it was Monday.
Following the day after that, or 2 days after that, was, I don't know the name, the Falcon Heights shooting.
Right.
Which was the whole thing. And then now, as of last night, was the Dallas? Was it Dallas?
I didn't hear about that one.
What?
No. It was last night?
Dude, 6 policemen are dead.
From what?
Riots. There was 3 snipers that were posted up shooting police.
Jesus. Was it just like...
You really haven't heard about this? It was pretty late last night that it was happening. So I have a bunch of articles here that I can feed off of. So the deal with the Alton Sterling shooting is, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I hate the feminism movement. I think it's a movement to put down white men, and I don't think that I know it's a movement to put down white men. Obviously, it started out not like that, women fighting for rights, but I feel as if women are equal to men now, just as I feel that blacks are equal to whites and Asians and whoever else is living in this country. Obviously, there's discrimination, but that's for anyone.
Well, not for whites, obviously.
There's definitely people that are racist towards whites.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't think these movements are more to fight for equality than they are just to fight, like, you know what I mean? That's how I see it. Like, it's not as much...
Are you saying it's like it's not as much as like we want equality as much as we want to start something?
We want to be treated as well. I don't know. I feel like it's not as much as it used to be. Like,
well, the thing
let's
with
get
this,
the right to vote. I feel like it's more now like sexism going away.
Black Lives Movement is, I'm trying to, fuck it. So the Black Lives Movement, they put forward poster boys like Alton Sterling and Trayvon Martin, who
right.
At the end of the day, like these 2 people that I named, Trayvon Martin and Alton Sterling, they didn't need to die. No. It could have been handled in a different way, but they weren't good people. They weren't like saints as portrayed in the media. You see Alton Sterling, for instance, which I have his rap sheet right here, is...
He's wearing his shirt backwards and inside out in that
Inside
photo.
out and backwards, so he can't dress himself. No, that's fucked up. Where is it? He was convicted for domestic battery in 2008. He is a registered sex offender. He was convicted of illegally carrying guns and other weapons, not once but multiple times. And so, you see the pictures of like young Alton Sterling holding up his fucking SpongeBob toy or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, these people are depicted as saints. These people are depicted as people that have done no wrong and have done, committed nothing and are just, saints, like I said. And it's never that, these you and then you see the people that protest and shit because of this, and they want to be respected, and they want this Black Lives Movement to blow up in a respectable way,
Right.
but it's never going to get anywhere, and no one's ever going to treat the Black Lives Movement with respect and care when their protests all end in riots, or like, and you look back at Ferguson
and Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. You look back at Ferguson, Baltimore, and all this shit where it's like, we want change, but we want to, change by, with Ferguson, lighting our fucking pretty much city on fire because, they lit the AutoZone on fire, and they, were doing so much, they were looting and all this shit. And it's like, what do you expect to get done by doing this?
I feel like it's not the same people doing it, though. Because I feel like the Black Lives Movement isn't, let's fucking riot this city to shit.
And obviously,
I feel like I know it evolves into that. I know, I just don't think all those people are like, let's fucking.
No, definitely not all.
Riot.
Obviously not all, and I don't think that and just like all Muslims aren't terrorists and all this shit.
Yeah.
But I think a good chunk of these Black Lives Movement and all this shit, like they're doing something wrong, and they won't admit it. And I think a big start to doing this movement right, even though I feel like it shouldn't be a movement at all, because I feel like America is like the land of equal opportunity. Obviously in every country there's discrimination, but here anyone can make it. You see fucking people like, I don't know, Tupac, for I don't know why, but he grew up in Compton and everything, and he fucking made it out of there and did big things to where now he, like, even now today he's still something. And every other black person that
is, which one's the one that people think is alive but is actually dead? You know what I'm talking about? That one of the old rappers everyone thinks is alive. Like, it's a conspiracy that he's alive.
Oh, it might be Tupac.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is Tupac alive?
There was a fucking Seth Rollins tried to, I think it was him, maybe not.
The WWE wrestler?
No, the person we know.
Oh, you just said Seth Rollins.
When Michael Jackson died.
We know somebody named Seth.
when Michael Jackson died, he tried to convince the fucking class that he was still, like, alive and kicking.
Oh.
But, wait, what were we talking about? Wait, how did we get to Tupac?
You brought up Tupac. Equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity. It definitely, and people will say, no, it's not. This land is filled with racism.
I mean, there's racism, but I think everyone still has a chance.
Everywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has an equal opportunity. Who knows? Like I said, you see people come out.
I wouldn't say equal opportunity for everyone, because I say, like, if you're poor, you don't have as good a chance to be successful.
But even then, you see the people that
make it out of the woodwork.
Make it out, like they study hard, and like there's like, I remember reading a story of like a woman, like a teenager that was living out of her car, who ended up going to like MIT or some shit because she fucking, even though she was faced with this hardship, she didn't go into this gang culture and all this shit and rose above it. And it's, I'm saying, I don't
think it's equally easy for everybody. I think it's a lot harder for some people.
I mean, it's definitely a lot harder for some people that grow up in poverty and fucking can't afford like these mics, you know what I mean, or some shit like that. But I think at the end of the day, they have just as much of a chance if they try hard. They might have to try harder than me. They might have to try harder.
That's what I'm saying. Like, some people have to exert more effort,
but they can still do it. It's still
to amount to something.
Yeah, it's, and you look at like the fucking children that are in the diamond mines in Africa, who is like, they're probably gonna die in the diamond mines in Africa, which is sad, but we don't face that kind of shit in America. And then, but like, black people will be like, we can't do it. And it's like, no, you can't do it because you're saying you can't, and you're not trying, and you're joining these gangs, and you're doing this shit. I
feel like it gets to a point where if you're in a culture so saturated with like gang culture, it's hard to deny. Yeah. Like with peer pressure and all that, I get that side of it. Like if you're an inner city youth.
Yeah.
I feel like
and like, obviously, like I said, for some people, it could be harder than others, right? If you're born into Donald Trump's family, you're not gonna be, but someone like a lot of people that fucking grow up middle class that end up making it big and shit, like,
right?
It's possible. It can be done.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
And I don't know. I hate seeing this.
What was the guy at Falcon Heights doing to get shot?
So, all right. So the Alton Sterling one, is very hard for me to decide whether who was in the wrong, because he had a gun on him, and I slowed down the video and played it back frame by frame, and the cop says, like, don't fucking move or some shit like that, and then he lifts his head, and that's when he gets shot. So it's like, if a cop told me don't move, I'm gonna be a fucking stake in the ground. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna move. And for him to try it, and he has a gun, and he's not saying I have a gun, like sees, you know what I mean?
Was he in the car? I've never seen the
Alton
video.
Sterling. So no, he was selling CDs out of a gas station, like outside of one. Okay. And the thing with these videos, and I wish, like, fucking, it's like, I really want to see what happens beforehand, and obviously it's not possible unless someone is recording or some shit, but it's right. Like, man, because it's so hard to judge, even with we'll get to the Falcon Heights one, it's so hard to judge because at the end of the day, it's a he said, she said type of scenario, thing, yeah. When you don't know
unless you
100% of it. Yeah. And so, that Alton Sterling thing, you really only get the heat of it when he's getting tackled to the ground and shit, and they're yelling at him and he gets shot. And so for that one, it's hard to judge. To me, it looks like he is not doing what he should have been doing, and he got shot because of it, and it could have been handled differently. I know he did not need to die.
Yeah.
But
it's unfortunate that he died, I'll say
that. Yeah.
I feel like that's the case with a lot of these, like,
it's unfortunate, but they're not doing they're not taking the proper precautions to not get shot. And then it gets to the Falcon Heights thing, where I've watched the video probably like 30 times, and if everything's what they say, so it starts off with a pan of, like, this woman filming on her phone, like, my boyfriend was just shot, and he's already shot in this, and the cop is still holding his gun at him, and she's explaining, like, they got pulled over for a broken tail light, and the officer, is like, license, registration, everything, and he says, and this is what she said, so who knows, but it really seems to add up that he said, I have a gun, I have a license to carry, I'm gonna reach for my license and stuff, and he said that. Reaching for his license, he was shot in the arm like 4 or 5 times.
That seems a little...
I don't know if he ended up dying or not.
Yeah, that one seems to be on the cop more than the first one.
It definitely seems to be, and it's like I said, I really like this one seems to add up more than other ones. But at the end of the day, it's still a he said, she said, because just to play devil's advocate, who knows if he would just reach for it, and obviously it was a broken tail light, so he really had no reason to. But
why did he have his gun out? Did he have?
He didn't have it out. He just had it on him. He had a license to carry.
No, I'm talking about the cop. Like, why did he have it?
Oh,
why did he even have it pointed at him if it was just a broken taillight?
I don't know. I think he might have pulled it out after he said, I have a gun. And, it's like, my mother is, like, very, like, there's a problem in America, like, black people are blah, 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 and I tried to explain it to her the way I see it, and she was like, she used a video that's floating around that's being used used for the Black Lives Matter movement, where it's a white guy who has like a tomahawk or some shit, and he's like going crazy, and these cops tase him a couple times, and they handle it like that. And my mom was like, if that was a black guy, he would have been shot. And I was like, Mom, like, you keep on mentioning, like,
you can't really
this color, when it's like, at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of cops, and not all of them, because there are some amazing cops.
I know there's probably racist cops somewhere.
And the thing is, I feel like a lot of cops feel like their job is not to enforce the law, it is to be the law.
Yeah.
And that's not their job, it is to enforce it. And she brought up this video, and I said, this was handled the correct way. They didn't shoot the guy. If that was a black guy, I'm sure this cop would have handled it the same way, because, the cops that are shooting people, like, that are, like, the Falcon Heights, that guy is not mentally sound,
I saw a video for the Black Lives Movement, and it was, like, a police department in, like, Minnesota. Yeah. And this old woman had, like, a BB gun, and she was outside a police station, and she was, like, shooting police officers with, like, this little airsoft gun, and they just kind of tackled her. They didn't really shoot her. And then it showed, like, a little boy from Florida having, like, a BB gun too, and having it outside a police station, and the cops, like, shot him in the leg. Mm-hmm. And it's like comparing those two, and I feel like you can't really compare those two because they're two different police stations.
They're two different people. They're two different police stations, and that's why it's so hard to be like, well, like these cops handled this situation with a white guy different than this
these
cop.
Different cops.
And it's like,
I would understand it if they were the same cop that shot a black guy and didn't shoot a white guy for doing the same thing.
But the thing is, like, you can only judge these situations if you need to, like if it was an exact scenario with
the exact same officer.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you're never going to get that. And you know, when these people say, well, this cop was good to this white person, it's like, yeah, it's because he's not fucking crazy and he knows how to do his job. The people that are shooting these, you know, people, and you know, I feel as if, you know, the Falcon Heights thing was done to a white person, it would not be in the media as much as it is with a black person. Because it's hot news to report, you know?
Well, yeah, because there's no...
White Lives Matter movement, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like fire wouldn't start over that. At least not like national attention about it.
Not as much as it is now.
Because like if a cop shot me, I'm sure the community would be pretty outraged if it was for no reason. But it wouldn't
hit national news
because there's no national movement against it.
So the Dallas shit,
I haven't heard about that.
There was a protest in Dallas last night, and it got fucking out of hand. And there was, I think there's 6 cops that are dead.
That's horrible.
And it's funny to see how I was gonna say it's funny to see how like it's hashtag Black Lives Matter, fuck cop, blah blah blah, and then as soon as stuff like this happens, the trend switches to hashtag, you know, bleed blue and all this like supporting cops. And it's like, what are you? Because it's like, if you fucking hate cops, hate them all the time, not when it's convenient for you.
When they die, you can't just be like, well, that's too far.
You know what? Yeah, so it's like, it's a thing, and I don't know too much about the Dallas thing because I was sleeping, but...
Wait, none of these shootings happened in Dallas, right?
No.
Then why?
Well, actually, the Falcon Heights, I think that might be... I don't know where that was. It was just a protest in Dallas.
I would understand if it happened in a place where the shooting happened, but if it happened in a completely different city...
Well, it's kind of like the Trayvon Martin thing when like
that's
people
completely
were protesting
senseless
all over.
Death.
Well, I think it was just like a thing to fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you're listening and you're worried about getting pulled over and shot by a cop, fucking do this. If you get pulled over,
cooperate with the cop 100%.
Do this, because this is what I'll do. And I'm a white guy. I'm going to put my hands on the wheel, and if he's like license and registration, I'm going to say, sir, I don't feel comfortable with everything that's going on. Will you please, can I step out of the car and you can get it for me? You know, it's something like that where it's like, there's no fault. You know, there's no risky moves where I'm like, I'll put my hands on the top of the car and you can just reach in my pocket and get it. That way you feel 100% safe and I do too. Because at the end of the day, fucking who knows what's going to happen. Like, I'm sure that guy, the Falcon Heights guy, didn't feel like he was going to get shot when he got pulled over. You know what I mean?
For a broken taillight.
Yeah. So all that shit's happening, and I don't want to linger on it for too much longer because 20 minutes out of our hour is taken. But I have this GoFundMe for Sterling is getting a lot of attention, and it hit over $400,000 raised. So that was something. This was about an hour ago. Capitol building locked down after possible shots fired in Washington, D.C.
That's a little scary.
So police have locked down the nation's Capitol building when they investigate the sound of gunfire in the garage, in a garage at a Rayburn building. The garage is on the ground and adjacent to the House of Representatives, and so the place is in lockdown and everything. So fucking shit's happening.
Yeah, that's scary.
And I just have another Dallas thing, but I really don't want to talk about it anymore. It's sad and everything, but I'm sure it'll blow over just like Baltimore and Ferguson and
just
all
like
that
all
shit.
The other times.
I wish like if I had a movement, the Jacob Thomas movement, right? Oops, said my last name. And I was like fucking, you know, trying to get, you know, all this shit and protesting. I'm going to have peaceful, the only way protests ever work in anyone's favor is when people aren't getting shot and people aren't looting buildings. You know what I mean? I feel
like the people who started Black Lives Matter didn't mean for cops to die, though.
No.
I feel like people come along and ruin it.
Yeah, well, of course, but... So, anyway, Pokemon Go released, and I see you're playing it right now.
Yeah, there's shit around there. If you don't know what Pokemon Go is, it's like... There's a GPS mapping of almost everywhere in the country and
in the world.
In the world, yeah.
It's so I'm sorry.
You basically walk around and you make your little trainer and you walk around and digital like Pokemon will appear.
Yeah.
And you can tap on them and then you can hold your camera up and they'll like be, wherever.
Pokemon wherever, yeah. So
you can like catch them and start your own little team. It's like real life Pokemon, basically.
Only not as cool. So they utilize Google Maps. So you fucking there's Pokestops and there's so many fucking shit and it's actually a really good. I feel like it's a good thing fun. For one. It's fun.
It's an exercise
but
app,
two,
basically.
Well, not really, because when I play it, I just get in my car and drive it. I don't really run around anywhere like depicted in the trailer. But I was out till like 2 a.m. yesterday, fucking playing this game, just running around the fucking town.
How many Pokemon do you have?
Like 50.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I only have 16.
I'll fuck you up. I have 2 gyms owned. I'm going hard.
Yeah, I'm playing it at a normal person level.
So I have a couple things in my notes. Abortion rates are high in Zika areas, which is good. Right? Because have you ever seen a picture of a Zika baby?
Yeah, they should not exist.
I want to pull one up. Hold on.
If you have Zika and you
get an abortion, because you're a fucked up person if you don't.
If you give birth to that baby, you're a fucking horrible person.
Right?
Don't show me pictures. Don't.
They look like what? They kind of look like.
Please stop. Don't show me pictures of that.
So, for those of you who don't know, there
Zika, please put that down. Like, I'm gonna gag. Please.
Just don't look. Just don't look.
Minimize that, please.
Because I need to describe it. So, a baby's head is like
a baby's head's supposed to be like you ever play with a kid's basketball?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like that, but a Zika baby's head is like a softball. Honestly,
it's
so tiny, and it's gonna make their life hard. They're going to grow up with disability.
Wait, what's the survival rate?
Probably not very high.
Let's look it up. Yeah, no, there's, like, because I don't know, like, if they...
I don't even know if they live to be adults.
So let's see here. CBS News, Zika baby survival rate.
I've never seen a picture of a happy Zika baby.
There you go. Dude, oh my God, their head is so small.
Yeah, it's gross.
Here's what you should know about the Zika baby defect. What is blah 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 blah? I just want to know the birth.
I got bit by a mosquito the other day, and I was like, now I'm fucking afraid.
Are you now?
Yeah.
I can't find it. I don't know. I feel like it's too new to. But like
new to say,
there's no way you can like.
There's no even if you're if you're pro life or whatever. If you're dumb like that,
yeah,
you have to agree that you cannot have a baby with fucking Zika.
Well, it's like even if they are able to grow up and thrive, like
why do it?
Why like would you want to be? Wouldn't you hate your family if you were walking around with the head the size of a cabbage?
Yeah,
like your head is like huge compared to what a Zika baby's would be.
It's got to stunt like brain growth somehow, right?
Yeah, right. It has to.
There's not enough room in there.
Or like your brain just is like fucking
so
swelling.
compact. Like, yeah.
So that I thought that was something because like fucking if you have a Zika baby, you're automatically a bad person.
Yeah.
Right. You're just a bad person.
And I know there's gonna be people coming out and be like, "Well, I'd still love my baby if it had the Zika virus."
Yeah, I'd love him, but
I'd love him, but I'd rather fucking adopt a kid I can also love.
Right, it's like like you can I'll love him for the
you're
month
just creating
he's alive.
An extra person that doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, you're creating a person who's gonna hate his life or get bullied because people,
no kid's gonna understand that he was born with a disorder.
Well, even the people that do understand, people are
still gonna make fun of him.
Are fucking assholes. Like even like I have first experience of people making fun of kids with Down syndrome and shit, where it's like they can't fucking help it. Like okay, make fun of the kid that is fucking being weird and acting weird.
But like, if your husband has Zika, tell him to get a vasectomy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because or I mean, who cares? But like, as long as you get an abortion.
Yeah, but I feel like it could be prevented.
Yeah.
Or just pull out.
Yeah, just do the old pull out. There you go.
Just pull out.
So I haven't talked to you in a little bit. You're moving.
I am moving.
Address?
Oh yeah, it's
you just about said it too. How's that going along? I saw you
moving is
2 men in a truck.
Yeah,
were at your house.
Before I tell you about my move, I had a weird moment with my mover where he was moving pictures. And he looked at a picture and it was of my 2 older brothers.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, is this you and your dad?" And I was like, "No."
Is that it?
I just thought it was funny, but then he was like, if a college accepts you, go there, because if you decide not to, you'll be moving luggage when you're 35. I was like,
oh, I fucking hate that one. When you're at Taco Bell or whatever, and it's like
don't do it. Like, yeah, I know not to get a job at Taco Bell.
It's like, hey, if you think there's a job opportunity at Taco Bell, don't drop out for it. And it's like, ha ha ha, I hate my life. And I'm like, why the fuck are you telling me this? Like, I give a shit about you.
I thought it was good advice, but because he told me he transferred schools like 4 times and then he ran out of money and had to become a mover.
Don't they make decent money, right?
Probably. It's probably a fucking shitty job, though.
Yeah. I drove past your house a couple times because I was running errands and shit. And I saw these people, putting shit in the truck, sweating. I did not see you once helping. Were you helping at all?
I was inside cleaning mostly. Because the fucked up thing that happened was the movers were taking forever. And we had to clean the house, like Clorox the walls and shit after.
Yeah.
And my mom was...
Clorox the walls?
Yeah, because I don't know, if you have like a desk or something, it'll like ding the wall and make like a little black mark.
Yeah.
And you can like get the Mr. Magic
eraser. Were they dinging the walls?
They made a little dent in the wall.
This is what you say. Door. You say, like, hey, if we don't have any problems, you'll get a pretty good tip.
I mean, yeah. We bought them food.
What'd you get them?
Taco Bell.
Dude, oh my god.
But moving is like the most stressful thing ever.
I would hate it.
Because all my stuff is in boxes in my car. Because I'm not letting those movers take my stuff. Because I don't know. I don't trust it.
You think they're going to steal your action figures?
Yes. But,
or they're going to open it up and be like, there's a gold mine in here.
Yeah, but all my stuff's in boxes. We moved out on like Tuesday of our house, and we're moving in today. So I've been living like a fucking bum, wearing like the same 2 outfits, and showering at my friends' houses.
Do you need a shower here?
No, today maybe actually tonight. And I've been eating nothing but fast food for like a week.
I've been doing that too, and I'm not moving. I'm just
because we packed up all our dishes, so I can't make anything.
Dude, oh my god, I swear to God, I feel like 3 times a week I'm sitting in an hour line at Taco Bell because those incompetent fucks.
Well, then don't go to... we talked about this earlier. Don't go to Taco Bell then.
I know, but it's so close and it's so good. I mean, have you ever had an extra large grilled stuffed burrito with seasoned beef?
I have.
So fucking good.
I feel like it's no better than any other fast food, though.
It depends on what you want. Depends on what you want. So you'll be fully moved in today?
Yeah.
See, I would hate moving just because he's not moving far.
Yeah,
I'm moving like 5 minutes down the road.
2 miles down the road, yeah.
So, I don't know. I would hate that.
Much bigger house. Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I feel like if I'm going to move somewhere, I want it to be fucking far away to make it worth something.
It's worth something, though, because our house is like probably twice as bigger than the one we're moving into.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have a reason. I feel like even now you don't have a reason to have such a big house because your family's kind of small.
Well, like, all my older siblings have moved out, and it's just me. And my mom was like, this is going to be the house that she, like, retires in, you know?
Where she dies in.
Yeah. And I don't know, I guess she just wants more, like, room and vacancy to have sex in.
Doesn't she listen to this?
I hope not.
Oh, dude, Camden told me something last night.
What?
He was like, Tommy. Am I allowed? Can I talk about Tommy on here?
I mean, don't say his last name.
I don't know his last name.
Tommy, my stepfather.
He was like, yeah, he hates me and Charlie.
I don't know.
Not me, but Camden and Charlie.
Yeah, he was getting pretty mad because we were moving.
I was like, explain that. He was like, well, he told me to move this shit over here. I was like, wait, is he just telling you to do stuff to help the moving process, or does he not like you guys?
I don't know. He was getting a little grumpy because he's an older guy. He's like 50 something, and we had to stay up till like 1 packing all this shit. And I feel like he was just getting a little grumpy because he was tired.
Yeah. So you don't think he hates you?
I don't think he hates me. I don't think he likes me very much, to be honest.
No. Are you shitty to him?
I'm not really sure.
Because I met Tommy. I've talked to Tommy a couple times. I like him.
He's a decent guy.
Yeah.
I just we don't talk that much.
No. Well, I'm sure it's weird to be have someone just kind of step in your life, right?
Yeah, but I don't interact with them a whole lot that much.
Yeah, fuck it. I have here also. So Twitch.tv, are you aware of that?
Yeah.
If you're not aware, Twitch.tv has started out as a live streaming platform for gamers to live stream their gameplay. They usually have a face cam, and if you're a girl on there, you usually have your tits out so you can get donations.
Right.
And since they have they implemented a creative mode for people that don't play games, but they draw, they paint, they play music, do shit like that.
Do you think that will get any grounding?
No, this wasn't recent. This was a little bit ago, maybe. And they implemented that by they streamed Bob Ross. You know Bob Ross
painting.
Yeah, the first episode to the very last, and it had hundreds of thousands of people in there at once, watching all this shit. And to kick it off, and so now the recent implementation and implement. What word am I trying to say?
I mean, if you implement something, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess that's a word.
Eating on Twitch.
Wait, like food porn?
It's called social eating, I believe.
Is that like that thing where people, cam girls where they eat and people jerk off to them eating?
Yeah, they just eat. There's I believe it's called social eating. It's really popular in Japan and Asian countries.
Oh, I bet. Those little Japanese.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, they get their dicks hard over some eating.
Yeah, so Twitch has implemented that, and it's very. It seems like if you're a hot girl, a get rich quick scheme. And I know some hot girls that I'm gonna talk to about streaming on that.
You sponsoring them?
Well, it's a fucking good idea because if you're an attractive girl,
and guys want to jerk off to you eating,
because nobody's going into the guys thing, they're just going to the girls thing because it's very interactive. You know, they're eating and
they're like, put more mustard on it.
Well, there's two sides to it where it's the creepy people that jerk off to it, and then there's the people that probably live alone and they eat. So
you would just talk to someone while you're eating.
So what people will do is that the viewers will coordinate their dinner time with whoever they like to watch, they'll eat dinner with them,
right?
Quotations, and talk to them, and it's very interactive, and
so it's just
make them feel like they have a friend, And I feel like a lot of people that are doing the social eating thing aren't there to.
I like the jerking off side of it better.
I do too. I think it's funny because there's definitely people out there, but I'm being serious when I want to talk to your fucking girlfriend would totally be into it. She would do it.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking.
If she just has to sit on cam and eat.
That's all.
Yeah.
And talk to people. And I'm being serious, and I know it sounds like I'm joking. You really should talk to Julie about this because we could set it up in here. And fucking do it. And there's money to be made here. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. There's money to be made here. And we can skyrocket to the top of social eating on Twitch. We can
skyrocket to the top of social eating.
It's a very niche market, but it's something to get into, and I do want to talk about it.
I kind of want to text her about it.
Dude, text her about it right now. Say, hey, would you be willing to eat on camera and possibly make money from it? Because people flock to that shit. I want to pull it up now, see how many people are in social eating. Because maybe it's not as... From what I think, it should be pretty... It was pretty popular. So, yep, social eating. Look, this chick has 120 people in here. Oh my god. And it's only 9 a.m, so I'm sure it'll get bigger.
Jesus.
But
why?
Oh, dude, she partnered on Twitch. 10,000
breakfast with
followers.
BB.
Yeah, breakfast with BB. So that we're watching Holly BB, and she's eating ew, what is that?
Yeah, she's eating raw guacamole.
Yeah, and so you set up a donation thing. Recent $10 was the most recent one. I'm sure that was not too long ago. And she has 122 people in here just to watch her eat. And she's attractive.
And she just has to talk.
And she literally just has to eat and talk.
Wow.
Some people stream games. Here's a guy with 0 viewers. Lunch before playing League. What's he eating? What is that? A Nutter Butter? See, people like this are never going to get their feet off their own.
God.
Because you have to be an attractive female, or like you have to be a no. This is how you get big on social eating. You have to be a
woman.
You have to be a mediocre looking woman,
at least,
a fucking hot ass dude. Like that's the only way.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck's gonna watch an ugly dude eat unless they're making fun of him?
Yeah.
Did you text her about it?
I texted her about it. That's kind of extreme. I'm surprised Twitch has grown to eating. That seems like a bit of a
jump. It makes sense though, right? Expanding your market. Because
but it goes from streaming video games to streaming like art and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's a farther jump to eating, you know?
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to
I feel like you went from Africa to Madagascar to Cincinnati, South America. Yeah.
Like I think they're trying to it makes sense if you think about it though, because Twitch I think is it's definitely the biggest live streaming platform.
Yeah.
But then you have these other platforms that have these things that I'm
sure.
So
why wouldn't Twitch
like
have
social eating? I'm sure there's a stream website just for social eating platform that has a lot of viewership. And if Twitch, that is like known as a huge streaming platform that is like, that works and has good moderators and all this shit, if they can like bottleneck this market to where everyone ditches those websites to do Twitch because they have a subscriber thing where like this chick Holly B, she has you can pay like you have to have a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of people that watch your shit, and then you get a subscribe button that's $5.99 a month, and you usually get like little emotes and ad free and all that shit. And it's a fucking good idea to just cornerstone all these markets to where which even without social eating and creative, it's still going to be the top streaming platform, but only for gamers. So if you can just expand this to eating and
just get more people on Twitch.
Maybe twitch.tv/XXX is going to be a new thing where you can fucking jerk off on camera, and then that'll be a whole new market we get into. But, dude, I have a fucking great idea, though, for the social eating.
What?
So let's say Monday is, I don't know if Julia would want... Oh, never mind. I was going to say I don't know if she would want me to say her name on here, but
we've already said
just said it. Like, let's say Monday is Julia Day, where you get to watch Julia eat lunch, and then Tuesdays is whoever day, and they can
we just have a new girl each day,
or just something like that, and maybe the people that want not disgusting looking guys, we're on there eating fucking Chipotle or whatever, and because no one else is doing that, no one else is because I've been watching it.
Right.
No one else has been revolving the fucking door, so you're going for the same person every day. You're gonna get bored. If you know that Wednesday,
we're gonna have a variety show.
If you know that Wednesday is gonna be different than Tuesday, oh my god, dude, this is how we This is the fucking get big scheme.
It is. Yeah,
I'm telling you,
eating on camera. That's
it sounds like a joke if you're listening to this, but I'm gonna start fucking looking into this and fucking figuring out like the fucking how to cornerstone the social eating market.
Okay, so I texted Julia. I said, "Hey, we want you for sort of a segment on the podcast." She was like, "Really?" in all caps? ?
I feel like you're really setting her up for some.
I'm gonna tell her all you need to do is eat on camera.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we can explain it to her after this. It does look like a market that is fucking people are not taking advantage of to the like they should.
But do you know 7 people that would you do it every day of the week? Eventually,
no. Well, let's say this. Let's say we start off doing 3 days a week, right?
Okay.
We'll do every other day or whatever the fuck. Where Julia, someone else, and then us or some shit, right? And it could just be us fucking around, chilling, eating, doing whatever, right? And who knows?
Can we do like your mom?
No. No.
Wait, why not? Why don't you want your mommy on the show?
I don't think my mom would be... Actually, she probably would, but that'd be weird. Because fucking someone's gonna be jerking off to it. And then, who knows, maybe it gets fucking blows up, and we're doing every day where we got a new bitch coming in, every day to eat some food and
like we have a waiting list.
Yeah.
To be on our Twitch account.
I really am serious about this.
That sounds like
a fucking good idea. Fun. It sounds like a fun, and it sounds like a really good idea.
I don't know about the good idea part yet, because I'm not really.
Oh, there's money to be made here. That bitch is not doing anything special, dude. We could do so much more than she can.
I kind of want you to not post this podcast,
right? No, the viewership here is like not to the point where someone's gonna steal this idea, right? It can't be, because I have fucking more ideas in here in this fucking.
Oh, do you? Are you churning. Like the beautiful mind? You just have like papers all over your walls.
Yeah, right. So
shit to do on Twitch.
Oh God! So hopefully we'll talk about it, because I feel like this is something that's actually going to happen. Not all of our ideas happen, but this seems like too good to be true. Did she say anything back?
She said, "Is there something funny about the way I eat or something?"
We'll explain it after this. We can call her after this. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. And who knows?
That sounds like a good.
Maybe Camden has one of the days is fucking drawing something or some shit. I don't know.
What if our Twitch account gets way bigger than the podcast?
Then they just
gonna shift focus to that.
No, because the fucking people that are going to let's say this. Let's say we fucking shout out our Twitch here. We're going to get some people that go over just to see what's up, right? Mm-hmm. And then the fucking people that are on here that are going to be watching on Twitch, rather, are going to fucking be looking into the podcast, because who knows, maybe they like the personalities or whatever, and fucking, we'll definitely be, if this fucking thing works out, we'll be talking about it on here. Because why the fuck wouldn't we? It's just such a fucking good idea. Alright, so I had it in my notes, not thinking it was anything, but now I'm it's gonna be good. So, did you bring anything to the table? Have anything? I feel like it's been like a...
Most of the stuff in my notes was about the shootings and stuff. But yeah. I've got an Am I the Asshole, if you're interested.
I was going to go get one too, so go for it.
Okay. Am I the asshole for uninviting a girl to a trip?
Okay.
So my friends from school live kind of far away from me, and I invited them to go on our family vacation. This is so fucking boring. Okay. Yeah, never mind. That one's boring as shit.
No, I might have some lined up.
I hate Reddit sometimes because it'll have kind of interesting titles, and then you get in there and it's just feces.
Yeah, it's fucking garbage.
Because that was nothing.
Am I the asshole for taking back $10 I gave to an old lady?
Okay.
So I was at the shops, and an old lady came by and asked me for $2. I asked her for what she needed, and she said it was for the bus. I only had a $10 bill at the time, so I gave it to her. 5 minutes later, I saw her talking to someone else, asking them for money. I watched take money from the guy and walk away. I followed her, and she went up to a lady and started talking to her. Then took a few dollars from her, so I was like, what the fuck, and walked up to her and confronted her. I told her I thought she had enough money for the bus, and I wanted my $10 back. She gave it back to me, and she started to tear up. I was pretty pissed at the time, so I didn't give a shit and walked away. Am I the asshole now? A bitch is a thief. She's a thief.
I mean, if she's panhandling, you know. Mm-hmm. It might have been a lie, though, because I know a lot of panhandlers like to lie.
Fucking, if she needed to get on this bus so bad, she would have gotten on it. She's a bitch.
Yeah.
Let's see. Am I an asshole for not giving my mom money? And we'll
from the title, yes.
Probably. A little background. Earlier, my mom and siblings were gonna go visit a relative of ours who was visiting town. Anyway, my mom asked if I could loan her like $20 till she gets paid Friday. I said yes, and then, well, you see, I am very usually a very talkative guy, and I make jokes a lot, sarcastically and stuff. So I made a joke about her aunt saying how old she was. Granted, I didn't mean to sound mean, but I guess I kind of did. Directly after, my mom yells at me in front of my brother and sister and says, "Quit being a smartass." I just impulsively said, "Alright, I won't go then," and I ran off to my room and locked the door. She then banged on my door and demanded that I give her the $20. I, of course, just sat on my bed like a child. She wouldn't go away either, just kept saying, "Well, who pays rent here? And just give me the $20. I didn't budge though, so they all left. Now I'm sitting in my room like an idiot with my pride that has gotten me first. This is ill-written. She did yell at me though in front of my siblings. She's done that before and stuff, and it's really awkward. LOL. I didn't want to sit in the car with her in the awkwardness. She also calls me an asshole too. Yeah, you are an asshole, right? He's an asshole.
Yeah, he is an asshole.
My mom yells at me all the time, and it's one of those things that blows over, right? Like, it didn't seem like she said, quit being a smartass. You didn't have to run to your room like a bitch. You're an asshole.
That story actually made me think of a story. So, I was at a conference recently for HOSA, which is a health club I'm in.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say his name. It's a friend of mine. I'm going to call him Cotton Eye Joe. Okay?
Wait, is it the dude that... Wait, is it the ugly guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Cotton Eye Joe...
Oh, I want to say his name. He's going to know who... that if
he doesn't listen to this. So
does he not?
Fine. I'm just not going to say his name.
Okay.
So Cotton Eye Joe, me, Cotton Eye Joe, and another one of our friends were at a pool, and there was a bunch of black people there, and they were splashing, thrashing around as people do in a pool. And there was this black girl on an inner tube that was like swimming along, and she was screaming because like her friends were trying to dunk her underwater, and she had like a weave or whatever the fuck. So we get back to the hotel room. It's me, Cotton Eye Joe, another friend, and then my friend Ryan. I don't know why I decided to say one name but not the other, but so we're just sitting on our beds, and we're like, a friend was like, hey man, I hate it when people cut you in line or something, and we were all like, yeah. And then Ryan was like, yeah, I hate it when girls do this, and we were like, oh yeah, that's pretty normal opinion. And then Cotton Eye Joe just kind of looking at the ground, and he's like, you know what? I just hate black people. And we were all like, what? Like, did you see him at the pool? And I was like, so you hate some black people? He's like, no, all of them are like that. They're just like, they're all just so
That's
loud.
One of those things where it's like, you really gotta think, like, am I the only one with this opinion? If so, probably shouldn't say it.
Because I was like, I've been friends with this guy since, like, middle school. And I was like, man, this dude's a fucking racist. That's just surprised me so much because like I've known this guy for so long.
Yeah,
and you think you know someone.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I said, where like if you're the only one with that opinion and you
keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. Like my God.
Like if you're the only one in the room that thinks, I don't know, the moon doesn't exist, then keep it to yourself.
No, I'd rather you tell me that so I can make fun of you for being a.
That's one of those that's one of those weird fucking conspiracy theories.
There's also I read the other day about a conspiracy of people that living on the dark side of the moon. There's a colonization up there, which is just fucking retarded. Or like that the whole thing was staged that we ever got to the moon. Like,
yeah, I've seen that one. Have you seen the one about how the Denver International Airport is actually hell?
I feel like all airports are actually hell.
I don't know.
Wait, I don't get it though. Why?
Like that is hell. Like when you die, you become like a TSA agent at Denver International Airport.
I believe it. That's one of the more realistic ones. That you die and become a TSA agent. I believe it.
I would like that.
Would you? What? Why?
If that was hell, that's better than like burning in a lake of fire and having a little fucking goblin stab you in the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, like. Why is that? Why is it always depicted like the little red guy with like
goblin
the
walks
pitch
up
art, the pitch, yeah.
And there's like medieval torture.
But
methods.
Dude, think about it. I feel like hell is actually like kind of better than heaven in some aspects because like you know like every I feel like every good thing in life is sinning, right? Like you can't have sex in heaven. I bet there's a lot of fucking going on in hell.
I bet there's not. You're too busy getting your nuts stabbed by goblins.
I feel like hell's like this, and I've never read the Bible or.
I have.
Nor am I Christian, so I'm really just talking out of what I want it to be.
What you want it to be. You just want it to be like a chill place where you can just do what you want.
I just feel like I feel like once you're in hell for a while, like the devil's gonna be like, all right,
okay, guys.
You're one of my lackeys now. You get some demon pussy, right?
You want to have sex with this goblin?
I read somewhere where it was like when you go to hell, you fall into the devil's mouth and he chews you up and like shits you out first. I read that.
The only thing
Is
about
that a thing?
Only thing about hell that confuses me is like, if God loves you and created you, why would He do that to you?
Why would He ever do that?
Yeah.
Well, if you think like that, like that's the reason a lot of people aren't Christian. If you really think like the story of Job, you want to hear the story of Job?
Ugh, I know the story of Job.
How can you be Christian after that? If for those of you who don't know the story of Job, it goes a little something like this. There's a guy named Job, and he's the best person ever. Everyone knows he's the best person ever, and everyone's and even God knows he's the best person ever. So, Job has a bitch-ass farm with a bitch-ass house with a bitch-ass family and like a hot-ass wife and shit. And the devil like waltzes over to where the God is somehow. He can just go.
And just approach him.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, this Job guy only loves you because
you gave him all that shit.
You gave him all this shit. And he's like, no, he loves me like...
Because I'm God.
Because I'm God and I know this. Because I can fucking tell because I'm God. And he's like, no, let me just do some... So he fucking takes away all of his cattle and his crops and all that shit. Just fucking...
The devil takes away his...
Yeah, the devil takes all of it, right? That's an alarm, sorry.
And the fucked up of that part of that story, I feel like already happened. Because why is God just going to let the devil do something like that?
Right. So the devil takes that away, and Job is like, all right, like, whatever. I still got
God. I still got my house. Still got my family.
Yeah. So the devil's like, all right, give me a second chance. And he gives the whole family boils.
Like disgusting...
pustules.
Boils all over their body.
Right. So...
And he's like, oh, well, I'm not a beautiful man, but I still got my family. I still got my house.
So next off, Job is in town getting boiled cream, and he walks back and he fucking sees over the horizon his house is destroyed, right?
And his family is died.
The devil, God watches the devil just fucking kicks his house down, right? So he runs over there, and this is in the story. He's rubbing soot all over his face. And his family's dead. He still believes still believes in God, right? And so the end of the story is pretty much this. The devil goes and he's like, you got me there. And he's like, yeah, believe it or not, I'm God.
Here's your $5, God.
Yeah, there you go. I'll PayPal it to you.
Like
That's
they didn't
even...
Right? I would like that story better if God at the end was like, all right, Job, here's all your shit that you worked for back.
Right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like...
I hate how the devil's able to just be like, hey, God, I bet you I can ruin that guy's fucking life. And then God's like, okay.
Like, how can you believe in... I don't know. Somehow, like... If you're Christian, whatever, I don't care. But it's weird to me how you can find a moral in that, where it's like, believe in God and... Hopefully he won't get fucked over. Like, tell me the moral in that.
Yeah, there's not one. I mean, if
he got to heaven, right? Probably. He better.
Hopefully, shit. I feel like Job should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants for the rest of his life because he kind of got fucked over.
Could God even like be mad at him for not believing in heaven? I gotta turn the fan on.
I wouldn't be mad at him.
Right? Like
you took everything from him.
Literally everything. How could you fucking be like, oh, he's a terrible Christian? It's like, yeah. If everything was stripped from my life, it'd be hard to believe in God, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to call that a wrap,
guys? We have a Twitter, NotSoPodcast.
At NotSoPodcast.
At NotSoPodcast.
We have an Instagram. Do we? We don't fucking use that. Don't even care about it.
Follow it if you want.
We have a email, NotSoPodcast@hotmail.com. We have...
I think that's all of our
Is
outlets.
that all our shit?
Not So Eating coming soon to Twitch.
Also, if you do have an iOS device or have access to iTunes, if you have not already rated this on iTunes, could you please go ahead and do that? Because that
give it a quick
us.
$5.
Give it a quick $5.
Just like the devil did to God earlier. Just a quick $5.
Yeah, there you go. I'd be happy with a 4. So, and that really does. Believe it or not, that does help us.
It helps a lot, guys.
Getting people to fucking sponsor and just higher up on the on the new noteworthy charts. All right, but thanks, faggots.